authentic and true. Always take your authentic, true self to the top of a relationship. Listen, y'all, let's get into the next topic. Um, I want to say this topic is about being authentic, be your true self at the top of new relationships. Don't send your representative. Nobody have time to figure out all five or six of you. Nobody have time for all that. Walk into situations, relationships, even on jobs. Be your authentic, true self. And y'all know what I like to say on my channel. I don't tell other grown folks what to do. So this is just some advice. I can't tell y'all what to do. If you want to send 10 representatives and 2 years later share about who you really are, that's your prerogative. I am suggesting that people be your real, authentic, true selves. It makes life easier when people are trying to get to know you and engage with you. It's easier. I don't have to wonder why you were a certain way 6 months ago when I met you and you're someone totally different. It makes me not have to hold your feet to the fire and have all these questions and conversations like, okay, why this, why that, why that? Well, you didn't do this 6 months ago. Well, you didn't. I won't have to go again. No one has time to figure out all five or six of you. Nobody wants to figure out five or six people. I met one person. That's what I intend to deal with, just one person. So, I'm interested in even knowing why people do that. What mindset do they have that they feel like I'm a messed up individual, I got some issues, and I don't really want to show this at the forefront. So let me snag somebody by being this different, easygoing person, kind, friendly person, and then be a monster later. It's interesting that your mind even knows to do the trickety trick, right? Why? Why are we tricking people? Um, I don't get it. I pride myself in telling people who I am from the jump. I let people know I'm mouthy. Um, I got a little attitude sometimes. I'm going to always be quick to hold your feet to the fire. I'm always going to be authentic and genuine. I'm always going to speak my mind. Not too often you can shut me down or shut me up. And in relationships, I always tell people don't put your hands on me because I will do my best to, well, I can't really say on camera what I've said to people that I've been in relationships with. But let's just say I let people know I will defend myself at all costs. So don't put your hands on me. And that doesn't come from a really bad place. That comes from a place of knowing my mother was an abused person. And I wasn't born when it happened. So I've heard the stories and I always knew, oh yeah, no, I wouldn't go through that. Can't believe my mama went through it. But I'm like, oh yeah, no, no, don't put your hands on me because that's not going to be pretty for you. So I always led with that in relationships. Do not put your hands on me. It's not going to be pretty for you. It's not. So I will let people know I do have that temper. I talked about a topic just a minute ago where I kind of gave it a couple examples about change in DNA. And I'm like, yeah, we really can't change. We are who we are. And how in my earlier years, I've always been a little fighter, little hell raiser. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and tell you up front, that's who I am. So we can have some conversations. We can have some arguments. I prefer conversations because I'm a communicator. But if you want to argue about everything, I'm going to shut you down probably every time because I'm a mouthy person. I'll just go into situations honest. And the reason I do it is to let you know up front what you're dealing with. You have the means and the right to say, yeah, I'm glad you told me that day one. So I can go ahead and let you know this probably ain't going to work. We can go our separate ways. But I respect and appreciate it. I would never get upset with somebody for saying, yeah, you told me a lot about yourself. And I don't think I want to rock with any of that. Round of applause. Round of applause. Good for you. I look at it as maturity. And I thank you for your maturity that you know that who I've described myself to be, which is honest, you would want to deal with it. And that's the reason I do it. I want to give people the opportunity to have that out early on. I can't think of one person I've ever met, job, relationship, friendship, where I've been very submissive acting, very quiet, very timid, and very shy. And then later you hear, I give you from day one, because that's just who I am. I'm a talker. I don't like to argue, but I'll argue you down about some stuff, especially if I feel like I'm right or if I know facts. If it could be something medical. that a doctor told me or that I read, or it's a fact. It's written somewhere in black and white. If it's a fact, not even my opinion or what I'm saying, I'm going to argue down about it because it's right. If we stand on the side of the road and a red car drove by and you want to argue me down to this black, baby, we gonna argue till somebody give out a breath. If a red car drove by, it's red. Like, that's the type of fact I'm talking about. So yeah. So yeah, the car situation, not the type of fact that I just think I'm right and I'm gonna argue you down. I'm talking about a fact. If I don't know, and it could be like a news fact. Even the news gets stuff wrong, but if the news said there was a accident on the road and there was a fatality of 6 people, and you want to keep telling, no, it was only four, it was only four, and where'd you get four from? Well, I thought it was just 4 people in the car because you're telling me you thought it was four because of how many people could fit in the car. And I'm like, yeah, it was 6 because it was an SUV. It's like, it's like weird. Like, I have the facts about something based on wherever I got the information from, and I feel like it's more factual. And you over here talking about what you think. We ain't gonna argue about what you thought. Your thoughts could be wrong. These are facts. I don't know. It's written somewhere. It's documented. The news put it out there. Or again, the more accurate one where a red car rolled by, we're not gonna argue that it was white. What? Like, unless you're colorblind, I'll let you have it. But to my knowledge, you see red like I see red, and black like I see black, and white like I see white. So I don't know what happened. So anyway, I went a little deep on that one. But I am just a person that is like, just a person that's like, I'm just going to always come like full force and in that manner, like I'm gonna just speak facts if I know them. But I'm gonna tell you those things up front. Like, this is who I am. This is just who I am. I'm a talker. I'm a communicator. I like to do it in the most responsible and mature manner. If it has to go left because of your lack of maturity, then I'm going left with you. What is it, God? I'm a Capricorn. We roll with the punches. We do what we do. What we doing? So, I just like to advise people to be your authentic, genuine self. Again, nobody have time to try to figure out 5 and 6 of you because what and why. I don't understand why people. Yes, I do. What I understand about things like anything, we are all wired differently, and people just learned behaviors. I don't know. Maybe you saw your mom or dad grow up to be a very dishonest person, and you just watched them go on their job and yeah, this is my situation at home, and you're a kid knowing that's a lie, but you saw that manipulation, like, okay, mama just lied to get out of work, or mama just lied to get a promotion, and then you see daddy over here doing stuff in a store, he at the store, and yeah, that's not that back there, that price on that thing, you just see people just, it's learned behavior sometimes. Dad talking about a price on the shelf or something else. He know he lying, and you look like that price. But you so you see your mom and your dad just go through life and get places by not being authentic and genuine, and so it's a learned behavior. So now you're grown and you're in relationships and you're doing the same thing. I don't know why we aren't people. I do know why. I keep saying I don't know why because I do know why. I wish people would grow into themselves, and once they see wrong, manipulative, bad behavior, that we grow into our own maturity enough to separate from it. Like, this was what home was like, and that was so wrong. That was just wrong that I saw my parents do. So now I've blossomed into this full grown adult, and I'm going to stray away from what mom and dad did because I now know those things were wrong. I don't know how in households we split hairs as adults, and sometimes we do that. Mom and dad were so wrong. This is my foundation. I blossomed and grew up, and I'm not going to do what mom or dad did. I'm right here in the middle. I'm going to do the mature right thing, right? And then you have some people that mom and dad's foundation was crazy. I grew up, I blossomed, but I didn't mature. And I didn't really pay attention to, well, I don't, as an adult, pay attention to right versus wrong. I just modeled what was shown to me. Mom was a liar, dad was a manipulator, so I'm in relationships doing the same thing because that's what I know and that's what I saw. It's weird that some people grow up and like, oh my God, it was a horrible childhood. I'm not going to be anything like that. And others just grow right into it. It's weird. So I encourage people to be your authentic, genuine selves. It's easier on life and everyone around you. Takeaway is just that. Go into situations and be honest about who you are. And I get it. Some people have mental health issues and concerns and things where we fear abandonment and don't want to be alone. Not wanting to be alone, so it makes us do things to cling to people. We say and do whatever we can to be where we want to be in relationships in life. It's not a good thing, but people do all the crazy things that happen in life relationships because the world is how it is for that reason. We're all just wired differently, mapped out different, made differently, and came up in different household dynamics. And we either did the split or we didn't. And so you get what you get with people. I choose to be authentic and genuine. And another thing I'm going to add to this topic is a lot of people fear not being liked. I don't give a flippity flip, flippity flip, flip. I don't care about being liked. I'm more comfortable in myself by myself anyway. So I'm not harping on who likes me today or ever. I don't. Yeah, that's not a thing for me to care like that. I mean, yeah, everybody wants friends and people to care and like and hang out with and things of that nature, but I don't live my life based on who likes me or not. So I can be my authentic self, and I'm not in fear that if I show my authentic self, somebody's not going to like me. I appreciate the fact that we don't jive and you go on about your business and let me go on about mine. We're not wasting each other's time. But that's that maturity level in me. Some people don't have that self confidence within themselves. They don't really care. You could be a bad influence, a bad person in their lives, and they rather have you because having you is something as opposed to nothing in their life. We're all wired differently, so that's why the world is the way it is. Chaos, pandemonium, crazy, calm, peaceful, loving. All of those things mix because it's the people. We map out this world. It's how we navigate this world and what energies and vibrations that you're walking in and who you're around and what they bring. And so that's why it's to me very critical to be your authentic, genuine self and keep yourself in those spaces that keep you grounded and rooted in a peaceful environment if that's who you are. If you like pandemonium and chaos, then baby, go on out there and find them groups of people that operate like you do. It's not for me though. But that's all I wanted to say on this topic is I encourage people to be authentic and genuine at the start of situations so you're not later trying to explain why you acted a certain way 4 months ago, a year ago, when I first met you. You just don't have to. I've never explained myself off to people about how I am, who I am, because they knew from day one and I don't do too much changing. You don't see too many differences in me. But that's it on that topic. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned, keep watching. I will see you all next time.